Have you ever seen a police officer destroy his own career in less than 10 minutes? What looked like another routine arrest outside a courthouse turned into the biggest mistake of Officer Daniel Martinez's life. The woman he insulted, humiliated, and dragged away in handcuffs wasn't an ordinary citizen. She remained silent, never raised her voice, and never begged for mercy. But before the day was over, the entire courtroom would rise to its feet as a shocking truth changed everything forever. Officer Daniel Martinez stood outside the county courthouse, scanning everyone who approached. When he noticed a well-dressed black woman carrying a leather briefcase, he immediately assumed she didn't belong there. Without asking a single question, he blocked her path. "Identification," he demanded coldly. The woman calmly reached into her purse, but before she could speak, Martinez shoved her backward. Her briefcase crashed onto the courthouse steps, spilling legal files across the ground. As people gathered to watch, Martinez snapped handcuffs around her wrists and muttered, "People like you never learn." The woman quietly looked toward the courthouse entrance, and said nothing. Her silence made Martinez even more confident that he had already won. Within minutes, Martinez escorted the woman into a courtroom, claiming she had tried to enter a restricted government building with suspicious documents. His report sounded polished, and every sentence painted her as a dangerous trespasser. "I followed procedure," he told the temporary judge. "She became aggressive, refused to cooperate, and resisted detention. I only used the minimum force necessary." Two fellow officers quickly backed up his version, nodding as if they had witnessed every second. The prosecutor seemed convinced, and several people in the gallery whispered that the officer had probably prevented a serious security threat. The woman sat quietly with a bruise forming on her cheek, her wrists still locked in handcuffs. She never interrupted. She simply listened as lie after lie filled the courtroom. Martinez smirked, believing the case was already over. He even glanced at the woman with confidence, convinced she would soon be convicted. What he didn't realize was that every false statement he made under oath was pulling him closer to a truth that would destroy everything he had built. When the judge finally asked if she wished to respond, the woman slowly stood up. Despite the handcuffs and the bruise on her face, her voice was calm and steady. "Your Honor," she said, "I'd first like to correct several factual errors in Officer Martinez's testimony." The courtroom fell silent. She explained that she had never crossed into any restricted area. She had been walking on the public sidewalk toward the courthouse entrance when Martinez stopped her without explanation. She also pointed out that he never allowed her to show her identification before using force. Then she looked directly at the evidence table. "The documents you're calling suspicious are genuine legal files," she said. "Every one of them belongs in this building." The temporary judge frowned. "And what exactly is your profession?" A faint smile appeared on her face. "I believe that answer will become clear very soon, Your Honor." For the first time that morning, Officer Martinez felt a knot tighten in his stomach. Something about her confidence didn't match the story he had invented, and he suddenly realized this case wasn't unfolding the way he had expected. The woman took a slow breath before continuing. "Your Honor, I respectfully request that all courthouse security footage from this morning be preserved before it's erased." The courtroom grew quiet. She explained that every entrance, hallway, and staircase outside the building was monitored by high-definition cameras. She also reminded the court that body camera recordings were automatically backed up to secure servers, even if a device later malfunctioned. Martinez's confidence instantly faded. He had counted on one short phone video and the support of his fellow officers. He hadn't considered the courthouse's own surveillance system. The temporary judge looked toward the prosecutor. "Is that correct?" The prosecutor hesitated. "As far as I know, yes." The woman nodded calmly. "Then I asked the court to preserve every recording between 8:40 and 9:10 this morning. The truth is already stored on those cameras." For the first time, Martinez felt genuine fear. Sweat rolled down his forehead as he realized the evidence he believed had disappeared was still waiting, ready to expose every lie he had just sworn to under oath. Before anyone could respond, the woman slowly reached into her jacket pocket. "With the court's permission," she said calmly. Every officer in the room became tense, but she carefully removed a slim leather credential holder and placed it on the evidence table. The bailiff glanced at it first. His eyes widened. He picked it up with trembling hands, stared at the gold seal, then looked back at the woman in disbelief. "Why, Your Honor?" he whispered. The temporary judge frowned. "What is it, bailiff?" The bailiff swallowed hard. "Sir, I know this woman. She works in this courthouse." A wave of confusion spread across the courtroom. Martinez immediately interrupted. "She's lying! That's a fake ID." The woman remained perfectly composed. "I never claimed to be important," she said softly. "Officer Martinez refused to let me identify myself before assaulting me." The temporary judge took the credential from the bailiff. The moment he opened it, the color drained from his face. He stared at the official judicial seal, then slowly looked back at the woman. At that exact moment, Officer Martinez realized his biggest mistake wasn't making the arrest. It was choosing the wrong person. The judge examined the credential for several long seconds before handing it to the court clerk for verification. Within moments, the clerk nodded. "Your Honor, it's authentic." A heavy silence filled the courtroom. The woman finally introduced herself. "My name is Attorney Naomi Carter. I was scheduled to appear before this court this morning to represent a federal civil rights case." The prosecutor's face went pale. Martinez stood frozen, unable to believe what he was hearing. Naomi continued, "Officer Martinez never asked who I was. He never checked my identification. He judged me the moment he saw me, then created a story to justify his actions." The judge slowly turned toward Martinez. "Officer, did you verify her identity before placing her under arrest?" Martinez opened his mouth, but no words came out. The silence answered the question better than any excuse could. The judge's expression hardened. "Remove Officer Martinez's firearm and badge immediately pending investigation." As the bailiff stepped toward him, the same courtroom where he had expected praise became the place where his career began to fall apart. Just as the bailiffs reached Officer Martinez, the courtroom doors swung open. An older federal judge entered with two investigators from the Office of Professional Responsibility. The room instantly fell silent. "I've reviewed the emergency evidence request," the judge said. "And I've already seen part of the courthouse security footage." Martinez's face turned pale. The video was played on the courtroom screen. It clearly showed Naomi Carter calmly walking toward the entrance. Seconds later, Martinez blocked her path, shoved her before she could present her ID, and forced her to the ground without any threat or resistance. There was no aggression from Naomi, only patience. The courtroom watched in stunned silence. The investigators then revealed something even worse. Martinez's body camera had been deliberately switched off just moments before the confrontation. The federal judge looked directly at him. "False arrest, excessive force, false statements under oath, and possible evidence tampering. Officer Martinez, you are no longer here as a witness." He paused. "You are now the subject of a criminal investigation." For the first time that day, Martinez realized the handcuffs might soon be waiting for him instead. Weeks later, the investigation was complete. Every security recording, witness statement, and forensic review told the same story. Officer Daniel Martinez had abused his authority, submitted false reports, and lied under oath. He was dismissed from the police department, arrested, and later convicted on multiple criminal charges. Attorney Naomi Carter never celebrated his downfall. Standing outside the courthouse, she addressed a group of reporters with a simple message. "This case was never about revenge," she said. It was about reminding everyone that justice only works when the law protects every person equally. Her words spread across the country, inspiring departments to strengthen officer accountability and improve training against bias. As for Martinez, the badge he once wore with pride became a reminder that no one is above the law. Sometimes, the strongest person in the room isn't the one with power, it's the one who stays calm while the truth speaks for itself. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more powerful courtroom stories every day.